Are you a reseller and you're still stuck at the same monthly profits? In this video, I will show you exactly how you can explode the profit ceiling and put your reselling income into new heights. And no, this solution does not require you to put in extra hours or buy a course or
sacrifice the blood of a newborn baby.
No, nothing like that. Actually, the thing that I'm talking about requires you to do less. How is that possible? Well, let me explain. And before I explain this powerful technique to you, let me give you some backstory. So, a while ago, I quit my 9 to 5 as a stonemason to go and resell items for profit instead. And I haven't had a job since then. Not only did reselling allow me to push past 10k a month, but it also allowed me to work less hours in a day. So if you want similar results, you have to understand this one simple lesson. And that lesson is a principle which is called the Pareto principle. It is also known as the 80-20 rule. This little lesson was discovered by Italian economist Wilfredo Pareto in the year 1906. And he simply noted that 80% of outcomes come from 20% of inputs. And this 20% is also known as the vital few. And the craziest part about this meant that 20% of customers lead to 80% of sales. It also meant that only 20% of staff is responsible for 80% of productivity. And in reselling, it means that 20% of your products are responsible for 80% of your profits. And the reason why this matters so much is that resellers who do not make a lot of money per week and are stuck at a ceiling are wasting their time and their effort on the items that do not generate the most income. So let me break this down in practice and give you some actionable advice that you can take right now to increase your income while reselling. So we begin with the products. And it is very simple. If 80% of your income comes from 20% of your products, the goal now is to cut out the products that do not increase your income a lot and double down on the products that are the 20%, the vital few products. And this, of course, means that you should be tracking everything. Track your purchases, track your sales, track your profits. If you don't track it, you have no way of improving these values. No metrics to track, no improvements. Simple, right? And now, for example, let's say your highest grossing profit item would be video game consoles. So what would you be doing? You would be doubling down on consoles. You can track this with a piece of paper, a Word document, your Notion, whatever you like. Or if you wanted the easier way, I created a PDF that you can just print and then fill out all the necessary information. The link will be down in the description. Now, the second part is the time spent sourcing, because the Pareto principle also applies to your time, right? It means that only 20% of your time is responsible for 80% of the outcomes as well. That means that tracking your profits and sales, your products, is only part of the equation. You also need to track your time. And the reason why you want to be doing that is because if you just increase your profit and not your time, your hourly rate might actually stay the same. But if you also track your time, then you can actually see where your time goes and decrease the time that you spend on generating profits, which in turn means that you can earn more money for less hours spent, ultimately increasing your hours, your profit per hour. For example, if you earn $100 in 20 hours, you only earn $5 per hour. But if you don't track your 20 hours, it might sound like a good deal that you made $100. But tracking the time plus the profits gives you a realistic estimate of what you are doing and if it's working or not. If you are unsure if an item is profitable or not, you can calculate that quite easily. And I also made a free tool that allows you to just punch in the numbers and it will tell you if a flip was positive or if it's a flip that should be avoided. And again, if you're inclined to take a look at it, the link will also be in the description below. And finally, tracking your time, sourcing, and tracking your profits is not quite enough. You also need to track your time that you spend preparing. So with preparation time, I mean the time that it takes to actually clean your items and to list the items. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of time, but if you clean a lot of items, especially let's say you do bulky items like I do fridges, then you can easily spend a couple hours per week doing that. And what you will find over time, that if you start tracking these times, you will start picking out items that take less time to clean. For example, at the beginning, I was getting cheap fridges in, like dirt cheap fridges, sometimes even for free. The only problem is if you get a dirt cheap fridge, then you get a dirty fridge. And with a dirty fridge, you spend an extra hour cleaning. And now the question is, would you rather spend a bit of more money, but spend way less time having to clean? Or would you rather spend less money and clean for longer? Now for me, the answer was obvious. I wanted to optimize the time and the profit that I get. So what I would recommend is avoiding the items that are too dirty or that are broken and require a lot of effort and time to repair or clean. Let's summarize the contents of this video. So again, the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule says that 80% of outcomes come from only 20% of inputs. That means that if you want to earn more while you're working less, you have to double down on the vital few 20% that actually is responsible for your success. And you do that by tracking everything. Time spent, profit, sales, and of course also not only the time spent sourcing, but also the time spent preparing your items. This allows you to see what actually generates and drives results and what is more or less a waste of time. So you double down on the 20% that give you the biggest results by ignoring the 80%. So what do you think? I would love to know your experience in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already and want to upgrade your reselling game, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, again, I will link the resources mentioned in this video, the PDF tracker and of course the free flipping calculator down in the description below, so make sure to check that out. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.